Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio /The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there.
And Dave, we got to move on into our last topic. What do we love talking about on the podcast?
Is it draft?
I think it's draft time.
It might be draft.
It is NBA draft time here on the Fast Break podcast. And what we're going to do is, because when we get to next week's podcast, we're going to be probably recording on a Saturday again, because me and Johnny are going to go see Beauty and the Beast on Friday, and tournament games are going to be going on. That's going to be second round action, so we won't be able to do this again. Sorry, Sean, you missed it, but we're going to look at which players need a big March Madness performance to kind of up their draft stock a little bit. And how we're going to do, we're just going to throw players out back and forth. You guys let us know down below what you guys obviously think, and any guys that we don't mention. But Dave, I'm going to kick it off to you. Who's a guy this March that needs a big performance to up that draft stock a little bit?
You know what? I'm going to start near the top of the board. I'm going to go De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
A guy we just watched light
just
it up.
Balled out against Bama. Balled out.
In the SEC tournament game. But I think that, again, he still has a lot of room to improve. He can kind of bring his name closer into that discussion. We're talking about how guard-heavy this draft is. I think if he can ball out and be consistent, and, you know, it's always been him and Monk fighting for that closer role. Today we watched him close it out.
Monk wanted it, too. Monk was like, give me the ball, and De'Aaron's
He's
like,
calling
nope.
for it. Nah, ain't having that. So I think De'Aaron can push his own stock up, and I think that he can get closer. If he really balls out, maybe he can even switch spots with Monk. The big question, obviously, is, you know, Monk is the explosive athletic guy who can score from anywhere, outside to inside. He can get the fouls. He can do everything for you. But at the same time, come on, point guards are so valuable. And I know it's one of the deeper positions in the NBA, but getting someone as talented, as big as De'Aaron Fox is, I think that if he has a great tournament, and I think if he consistently is, you know, a 20 and 7 guy, he limits those turnovers. Those are just absolutely murderous to this Kentucky team. But I think that he can really improve his stock. Right now, Chad Ford's big board, they got him at 9. I think he can work his way up to 6. I honestly think he can just fight right with Monk for just outside the top 5, maybe.
Well, and for me, the big thing that I'm taking away is I'm looking just at his conference tournament games that he's had. He's played 2 of them. I mean, the Bama one that we just watched before recording the podcast, he had, 28 points, only 5 boards, and I want to say 2 assists. The big number that kind of kills you is the 5 turnovers that he had in the game, but all 5 of those coming in the first half. He had 0 in the second half. But, I mean, you look at his last 2 games, 20 points against Georgia, 24 against Alabama, shot 7 of 12 and 8 of 12 respectively, shot the big one for Bama, 11 of 15 from the line. And I know that you might be sitting there going, well, Ricky, some of that was inflated because late in the game he did get fouled by Alabama. But you still got to make the shots when you go to the line, and going 11 for 15, get 11 of your points from the line. One of those was even the and one situation where he drove, split the defenders, went up for the layup,
beautiful
drew the
touch
foul,
near the rim,
and he just out of excitement, he's just slamming the kind of backboard, the padding,
and on the
basketball.
On the other hand, Monk, in the last 3 games, 2 of 10 against A&M for 6 points, 1 of 7 against Georgia for 2 points. I mean, some pretty disappointing performances from him. So I honestly think we could see almost a swap between these 2 guys.
Well, and the thing that I liked about Fox, mainly from the game, I'm taking it from the game we watched because that's what is so fresh in my mind, is even like you were pointing out, even when he hands the ball off, this is a guy that's always moving without the basketball. Where
that's what you want to see.
Like you said, it's like, oh, he's going to come this way, now come back out. Yep, they're going to give him the ball. And that's exactly what they were doing. Kind of like I felt like I was sitting next to John Calipari watching his team play basketball because you kind of knew what he was going to do. But also there was one where he was kind of dribbling across top of the key, noticed his defender didn't have with him, and just boom, he just on a dime kind of sparked in, and the defender had to backpedal.
Yeah, he's got some pretty great instincts for a young guy.
Was not going to catch him. Really, I was thinking, kind of saw a little shades of John Wall in the last game that we saw. And John Wall, we know, has been balling out in the NBA. I'm looking at Bleacher Report trying to find where they have him, and right now they've got him outside the top 7. They got Malik at 7, and then they've got all the way De'Aaron Fox is right here at number 12 to the Hornets.
Yeah, so, I love Malik Monk. I think I've been the biggest fanboy of Malik here
You've
at
been the
MVP.
biggest fanboy of Wildcat Nation or Blue Nation or whatever they call themselves in Kentucky. You like your Kentucky Wildcats this year.
You gotta love players who are at the top of their game in college. And Monk, again, can score from anywhere. When he gets hot, he gets hot. But it's one of those things where, a shooting guard impact, an undersized shooting guard in the NBA, I have to be a little more realistic about, the expectations and where his top and bottom end is. You guys can go back and watch the entirely Malik Monk focus one. I don't want to cover him too much here. But it's one of those situations where it's like, you know what? If Fox gets comfortable and if Fox takes them and leads them through this tournament, I really do think that Fox can jump Malik in stock.
I'm going to throw one out for you, and I'm going to go.
What do you got?
We're going from the SEC. We're going to go to the ACC, and this is a guy who, in a win over North Carolina, gave 15 minutes. Yeah, he only had 6 points, but he had 7 big boards and gave the Duke Blue Devils 15 good minutes off the bench. I think Harry Giles needs a great, I'm not even saying big, I'm saying a great March performance. Like, if he can move up those points, like 6 points is decent for him, knowing like what we've talked about with the knee injuries, why he was out most of the season. But this is a guy that if he can consistently give Coach K 15 minutes, 16 minutes, even coming off the bench, I think this is the time where Harry Giles can basically say, hey, you know what? I'm a guy who can rebound. I can be a defender for you. I want to say, he had 3 blocks in that game? No, those personal fouls. So he had 3 fouls. That was the big negative, like the turnover for De'Aaron Fox.
He had 4 blocks, though.
But he
against
did
UNC.
have 4 blocks against UNC. So he can be that defensive force, get some rebounds, and hopefully teams could see that and go, you know what? Maybe he's going to go before number 24, where Bleacher Report has him going right to the Brooklyn Nets, like I said, at 24.
I mean, he's a risk-reward kind of player because when you talk about bigs with knee problems, it's like,
Greg Oden at number 1.
I don't want to. But at the same time, he's come back and they've kept him in a very heavy minutes restriction. I think he's only been over 20 once this year. Yeah, only been over 20 minutes once this year. So I honestly think that you're right. He's someone who we need to see a little bit more of out of this tournament. And the big question is, he's not going to be asked to score. This is a Duke team that is not dependent on him.
Kennard, they've got Tatum, they've got Grayson Allen. They've got guys that can score.
Yeah, so his job is to be down low, be effective on the boards, and be active with his hands on defense. So honestly, he's going to have a chance to showcase his skills because in the tournament, I really think that we always talk about the importance of guards in this tournament and guards taking your teams deep. Well, they're going to have the chance. Duke is going to have the chance to go deeper because of their guards. But when it comes down to it, the big men down low can help decide those games. And I think in limited minutes, he needs to show a ton of energy. He needs to be very active. I think he could improve his draft stock, but there's a cap on that due to that injury concern. I don't think he can get above. Like, I'm going to put a line and say, like, if he goes above 15, like, I don't even know. Like, that would be absurd to me because you can't put that much faith in a guy who hasn't been consistently healthy. So I think he does have a ceiling, but he still has, you said Bleacher Report was 24 or so.
To the Nets.
So, yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement still, but at the same time, there is still a cap on him and on his stock.
And the one thing, this is a side note I just want to throw out there, this is about Bleacher Reports, is the 2 guys that they have going back-to-back 24-25 is they've got Harry Giles, who knee problems. Then they got OG Anunoby, who also injured this year. We talked about him earlier here on the Fast Break. I just found that funny. Hey, let the Nets take some guys with some knee problems because kind of like what you said before we recording. Yeah, the Nets can do that. They can kind of take that risk because they're a team that's not expected to necessarily win right now.
Exactly.
Plus, they don't have their first overall draft pick.
Exactly, and they so far are happy with Karis LeVert, who, again...
An injury reward.
It's a guy who they wouldn't have had a chance at. Not a chance in hell would they have had a chance at him if he had been healthy. So you might as well go big at that position. Sure, if you get Harry at 24 and OG at 25, why not? If you hit on one, great. You're in perfect position. You got a player at a value that nowhere should you have deserved that. So I think that it's a smart move. Again, you said it. They don't need to win now. What's the point? Why not go deep?
And we're going to snake around. I'm going to double dip here in the ACC a little bit. is I'm looking for Wake Forest. And you might be saying to yourself, well, Ricky, why the fuck would you look at Wake Forest? They're a team that's been on the bubble. Right now, throw it to me. Throw it to me. Who do you think it is?
Is it Mr. Collins?
It is Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins.
Not Tom Collins.
Not Tom Collins. But the thing that I watched, surprisingly, never watched Wake Forest basketball all throughout the season. Why would I watch Wake Forest when I can watch the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, the Louisvilles, the Notre Dames, just in that conference alone? Right now, they are on the fringe of they'd be one of the first 4 in or last 4 in, so they're playing in Dayton day 1 of the tournament just to play into the national tournament. But this is a kid where I was watching their game against Boston College, watching the game against Virginia Tech where they lost. And this is a guy who, especially in that Boston College game, went to the line, much like we saw De'Aaron Fox, but differently than De'Aaron Fox because he's a forward, not a guard. But still goes 11 of 15 from the line, 19 points in that game, 12 rebounds against BC, 10 rebounds against Virginia Tech. This is a guy who could get an extra game because his team might have to play in, but with the well coaching that they have with Danny Manning down there, this is a guy who can kind of play himself into, I want to say maybe like a second-round pick right now, but if he plays well enough, I wouldn't be surprised if like a Jazz-type team, I'm not saying that exact team, but a team like in that low first round, if he plays phenomenally, he could play himself into the higher second, maybe even the late first round with a solid tournament.
I was going to say, surprisingly, actually, Chet Ford believes him. He's got him at 18 on the big board,
really?
4.0. 18, consistent player, prototypical big 4 in the NBA.
And that's the thing. We were talking before we hit the record button where you were like, well, Chet Ford's got a big board. I'm like, I don't want the big board. Give me a mock draft.
We'll fight. We'll fight back and forth.
The thing that I hate about big boards is it's about, I love big boards because it's about talent. But just because he's 18 on a big board doesn't mean that's
he's going
where
to
he's
get
going
picked
to
at
go.
18. I'm with you. Fit matters a lot. Yeah.
I want to know where he's going to go. And right now, sadly, I would say that he's a second round. Like, to me, if he has a solid tournament, I could see a late first round pick from him.
All right. I got one for you.
Hit me.
Now we're talking about one of the guys who isn't projected to be a first rounder right here, but he has a chance to be there because his team, I think, is going to go pretty deep into this tourney. They just upset UCLA last night.
They just beat UCLA, so it's either going to be one of two people.
And one is a guaranteed first rounder, so come on, give me the other name.
So you're going Lonzo Trier.
I'm going Lonzo Trier.
That's what I thought it was.
Player who has exploded for the second half of this season. In his last 6 games, 21 points, 25 points, 28 points, 19, and 20. He is doing it from inside. He's doing it from outside. He's got a 3-point shot that hot and cold, a little scary, but look, I think he's going to settle that down. He's still a young kid. But the important thing is how good he is navigating that offense, bringing this whole team, moving the ball around. Honestly, he's somebody who, as a shooting guard, has better handles than I expected him to. That's one of my big knocks on a lot of shooting guards is, well, a guard should be able to handle the ball really well. He's suitable. But the big thing for him is he knows how to get in the paint, and doing that creates better shots for other players. So that ball movement, he never is slowed in on, I solely am going to do this myself. So I think he's an unselfish kid. He's got good size at 6'5", just shy of 200, right around the 200 mark. I think Lonzo Trier definitely can improve his stock. I think he can make it in and be one of those, 25 to 30 range maybe guys.
Well, it's funny that you say that because Brandon and I, and this is going to be, if you're on YouTube, shameless promotion right now above Dave as the card's going to come out. As Brandon and I talked about Lonzo Trier when he was coming off of that injury, he came back and we had the discussion of can he help him make a Final Four run? And I mean, coming into the conference tournament, I was more hyped up. Kind of like how you with Kentucky. You have the Kentucky Wildcats that you're really high on and you cheer for them.
Yep.
I'm kind of big on UCLA this year. I like Lonzo Ball. I like Leaf. I like what that team is doing overall. I had Oregon and UCLA in my final for the Pac-12, but obviously that didn't happen. No, this Arizona team, Lonzo Trier leads it. And like you said, they already have the Menkinen, who is already he's going to be a top first-round talent or maybe middle first-round talent in this draft. But Lonzo Trier, there's always something where the guards can play themselves. Notice how Dave is throwing out 2 guards at me. two point guards happening.
Markkanen is awesome, and he's been talked about as having that Dirk standard from it, and
well, just watch Bill Walton talk about it.
Oh, I love Bill Walton. Yeah, go get Bill Walton's commentary about him. Look, he's been pretty much raised to be an NBA star. Like, it's in his blood. It's absolutely in his form, and I don't want to quote Bill Walton because I'm going to get it wrong, but watch him play.
The step back, the footwork, the this, the that.
The
it's
shoulders.
Just Bill Walton.
Yeah, he brings that similarity to Dirk, that he brings that comparison. And look, he is somebody who is a stretch four in the NBA, and I think that in an NBA where we're starting to value that 3-point shot more, we're valuing that stretch four. The knock against him is, for someone with his size, he should probably be a little bit more active on the boards, and his defense is still lacking. But I think that can grow. I think he's got plenty of time. I think he'll be fine going forward. And that's why that Arizona 1-2 punch, I think both these guys, but I think Markkanen is pretty much stacked in, like, he's between, like, 7 and 15. He's going to go. But a guy like Lonzo Trier, he's a quick riser, and I think that his hopes are really tied to this tourney.
Okay, I'm going to hit you one. I'm going to go to the Big Ten.
All right.
It's not going to be who I thought, because I told Dave of one I'm saving to the end that's kind of a throw-it-out wild card. I just like watching this kid play in the Big Ten. But the guy I'm going to throw out there, and I'm actually going to throw out who I think he's going to be drafted by if he stays in the second round, and I'll give you the team first. The Miami Heat, book it, are going to draft him if he's on the board. The reason why is when his team Purdue was playing Michigan, the boss was in town. The boss was in town in D.C. to, let's be honest, you're going to a Purdue game to watch Caleb Swanigan. That's who you're going to watch. And he right now, to me, second-round talent. He's not in Bleacher Report's first round, but this is a kid who, in a overtime loss to Michigan, and let's be honest, Michigan's on a tear right now. They have the emotion of their airplane gets thrown off the runway. They have to play an Illinois team day one where they're in their, I was telling you, they're in their practice unis on top, their actual basketball shorts down low, and a random assortment of shoes because they couldn't get the jerseys off of the plane. They win that emotional game. Then they take that into Purdue, and I believe they won today to go to the Big Ten final tomorrow. They beat Minnesota today. This kid, though, Caleb Swanigan, 13 points, 13 rebounds in that game. Go back to the Northwestern game to end the regular season. 20 points, 14 boards. Oh, yeah, the Indiana game before that, just 21 points and 10 boards.
Dude,
on top of that.
up the boards.
So, I mean, double digits. If he can get, like, and I mean, he's had games, too, where it's like 12 and 17, 16 and 14, 21 and 16. This is a guy who can get you boards down low, but he can also score down low. And that's why I'm like, hey, if the boss is in town, the boss is looking to draft him. I believe, like, whatever the commentators were, I think Dan Dockich was one of them. They mentioned, they're like, yeah, all these tournaments have scouts, but if the boss is in town, you're pretty good. And that means the boss wants to draft you. But, yeah, he's a guy that Purdue's going to be in the tournament. Purdue needs to make a run, especially for Swanigan, because if they get bounced again like they did against Arkansas Little Rock last year, he'll stay a second rounder. One thing I want to say about him, though, and this is me going out on a limb, and this is me going prediction mode.
Bring it.
If he gets taken in the second round, whatever team takes him, he will be like Draymond Green to that team, where second round talent, but a quality player in their starting lineup.
That's a bold prediction, sir.
I really like this kid. I like what he brings to a team. He can score, and most importantly, when you see a kid that consistently gets double-digit rebounds, you go ahead and take that kid.
High motor, absolutely. He's definitely one of the more athletic guys, and he gets down low and absolutely dominates boards. All right, I got one final one for you.
Hit me with it, David.
It's Dwayne Bacon. And
I love me some bacon, Dave.
I'm going pretty guard heavy here, but he's someone who is obviously second fiddle on his team, but actually he's a small forward. I don't know why I said guard, but look, he
plays like a guard.
He kind of does, actually. I like it. But look, it's an at-will score pretty much, and that's what I love about him is that he doesn't shy away from shots. He is more than happy to jack up anything that they give him. My big concern for him, though, is honestly consistency down the stretch, and I think he's someone who right now oh my gosh, Bleacher Report's got him in the second round, like middle two. I'm just guessing. But no, I think that, again, he can improve his stock a lot. Florida State is definitely in position to make They'll probably go 2 rounds. I don't know much more than that, but I don't love him. But I think Dwayne Bacon definitely has talent, and at a position where people are always looking to get some good versatility, good scoring out of, I think he can be a very, very valuable NBA player.
No, and he was a guy before conference tournament season started. I fell in love with the bacon. It's not because I like eating bacon for my morning breakfast each and every morning, but this is a guy that when he has it on, he's got the knockback shot. And to me, early on, it felt like he could take over a game. Now, conference play kind of morphed into its own. We kind of saw Jonathan Isaac kind of overtake
he's
him
emerged
in the
over top.
draft boards. But yeah, Dwayne Bacon right now, second rounder for sure for me. But hey, if he can ball out, have some games in the tournament that are solid, maybe creep up that board a bit.
I'm even good with an early second. It's just, I mean, we talked about this a little. I don't know if it was on camera off last week, but it was, NBA drafts have been getting deeper and deeper. You're finding more talent later in the draft.
Well, Jimmy was the second.
Jimmy was the 30th.
Was he? Okay, so he was at the end.
But you look at,
wasn't Isaiah, I was going to say, he's a second.
A lot of guys
Draymond.
are coming out of later in this draft and because the talent is so good. So it's no longer a throwaway pick, and I think that he's one of those guys who I would absolutely love to have on my team. Sit him at the end of the bench, maybe put him in the G League for a little bit of time.
Is it no longer the D League? It's the G League?
Gatorade bought it.
Never until you guys mentioned it last week. I was like,
"Yep,
really? They changed it? It's the G League now,
Gatorade
not the D League."
So
sure,
it's a thing.
It's still the same thing.
But yeah, I think he's got. Okay, I'm a cheat too. I'm a back to back this one. I'm sorry.
Justin Jackson. The last one.
Justin Jackson is the other guy, and I think that again, it's NBA is now a go off of what's your top end, what's your potential. I think Justin Jackson still has a pretty high potential. His wingspan is crazy. He's 7'3" wingspan, 8'8" reach. The problem with him is absolutely his consistency, though. Like, he has no problem if he needs to score. He is absolutely a monster against bad teams, but it's against top teams where he has not quite lived up to where he should be. And it's one of those things where you get angry at the TV, and I'm
You're throwing stuff at the TV.
I know you can do this. Why aren't you doing it? But it's again, he'll have a pretty good chance to perform, and I think that honestly, I just want him to be a good NBA player. I really do.
Was it kind of like how you were getting mad at Kentucky today when they couldn't rebound against Bama late in the game?
Look, that's one of Bam's knocks, though. Bam, obviously, but
Bam versus Bama, but he was going for the ball.
For a guy with his size, he should be able to rebound better.
Just takes the ball right from him. I'm going to double dip you with 2, and these are kind of guys where, one, I don't know if these guys right now are on draft boards anyways. It all depends on if they come out, and if they did, they might be second rounders, but 2 guys that I really like and to watch in the tournament is Michigan's Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman. Yep. This kid can knock it down. I know that he was only averaging 9 points in the season, but when this kid gets, it's kind of like that Deion Waiters type. When he gets on and he gets a heater, he'll hit any shot in the gym, it seems like.
Oh,
and
it's high
to
praise.
me, the other guy that I'm looking for, this is a leader of a team that not many people, they only lost 1 game, but not many people taking them respectively. But if Nigel Williams-Goss comes out this year, I mean, of course you're like Gonzaga, dude, he's going to stay for senior year.
Yeah,
why wouldn't
does.
he? They always do. But you got Nigel Williams-Goss. I think if he comes out, he's a guy that's played at Washington. He played at Gonzaga now 1 year. And if he comes out second round or a good tournament, could get him in early second. And another guy they're looking at is Zach Collins. He's a freshman, though, at Gonzaga. I don't know if he comes out, though. Gonzaga's a weird one, though, because they usually don't have the big one-and-doners like the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the North Carolinas do.
Well, I've got a question for you, sir. I've got a guy who could improve his stock.
Hit me with it,
He needs
Dave.
everything he can to improve it.
Okay.
Is Grayson Allen, does he
done.
still ring bells?
He is not, to me, I wouldn't touch him in the first round. And the reason why I would not touch him in the first round is there is too much risk and not enough reward. Because I think at time, you want to think back to his freshman year when he had that amazing championship game and he helped them beat the Wisconsin Badgers. But ever since, it seems like there's just too much of the microscope is over him. And he's just not giving you enough. And this year, he's been a bench player for Duke. And I know that's it kind of fits them. He doesn't need to be a starter. It takes a lot of pressure off of him. Mm-hmm. But if I am wasting a first-round pick on Grayson Allen, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to waste a pick on a bench player why would he play on the bench in college, but then he's going to come and start for me? No.
He doesn't have to come start for you. It's just something
Plus, he's a guy who, even if you, like, second round, I can maybe see.
That's what.
But
I'm
he's
thinking
also...
he's end of first, early second, talent-wise, but it's the...
Here's the thing.
Potentially...
Here's the thing, and this is the last thing I was going to say, is he's also a guy where if one thing... It's kind of like Draymond. If one elbow's out of place, one leg's out of place, boom, we immediately look to Grayson.
That's where I was going with it anyway. Yep.
It's
it's just... Is he worth the risk of having... I think it's a maturity thing, and I think it's something that, when you're in a professional environment around guys who are older than you, I think it's going to be a respect thing, and I think he's going to shut up and listen and, get in line like a good soldier. So I'm not super worried.
Like a good soldier?
I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but I just think it's one of those situations where I'm hoping this is just, look, I know he's 21, right? 2021, whatever. It's just the fact that he has no one to keep him in check right now, and yeah, he can throw tantrums a little bit, but talent-wise, this guy should be valuable in the NBA, and I think that some team will take a shot on him because he can be a great bench scorer for you.
I think there'll be a team that takes a shot on him. I just don't think it's a playoff team. I don't think it's a team that has their direction mapped out because all the other teams are going to see the tantrum side and go, yeah, we're not babysitting. We're not running a babysitting service.
Yeah, you're right. The media could kill you, and you don't want to worry about that. But I could see, maybe a bad team or, maybe the Sixers going
Trust
out
in the process, Dave? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. They could do some scoring.
Trust in the freaking
but that's
process,
scary.
Dave.
Instead, I'm going to go. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
You're going to leave it with the Sixers, or you can go to the Knicks. I mean, they've got enough problems, right?
Oh God.
Right? You could just
Does
go
he
to
play the
Knicks.
triangle?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him if he plays the triangle. But this is where you guys come in and let us know down below what you guys think. Who needs a big tournament? And also what Dave said. I want to hear what you guys have to say about Grayson Allen. How do you think?
Is there a chance if he goes off this tournament? I mean,
and he could
18 and 18 in his last two games in the ACC tournament. So I mean, there's a chance.
And he's got ND tonight on top of whatever he does in March. So
hey, man,
I wouldn't take him in the first. I wouldn't take him in the first.
There's a chance to get elevated stock if he really goes and balls out again.
That's just me. I think that there's too much risk, not enough reward in that situation. But I want to thank you guys for either watching the Fast Break podcast, listening to the Fast Break podcast on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, Stitchers, and obviously watching our beautiful faces on YouTube. Thank you guys for giving us the time. He is at Dave_don't_tweet. Haven't said that in a while. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Most Valuable Pod is at Most Valuable Podcast. You hit that subscribe button. You want another way to help support us. Check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Going to thank you guys one more time for giving us a part of your day. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, it's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.